So it's been a while, but I'm returning to a series that I started on my channel back when I first started on YouTube, so back in like 2016, and then I fell wicked behind on it and everything, so I am going to be, my notes are over there, I am going to be reading out old articles that I wrote for my university's newspaper. If you don't know, I used to go to UMass Boston. I graduated. But I wrote articles for the Mass Media, which was the student-run newspaper, and I just talked about mental health and awareness and recovery and my struggles with that and also my triumphs with it. So I'm going to go grab my notes real quick, and I'm going to be reading it off my iPod. It has a nice sparkly, it's very sparkly, yeah, so that's what this video is going to be. I'm probably going to try to do 2 of them, separate videos, but I will say too that I read the ones that I did all in 2016, and the last one that I did, which actually I was supposed to watch it before I did this one, but the last one was like somebody else sort of comment, like wrote about me having written all those articles and just like stuff like that. So that was the last one the video that I had filmed and uploaded, and then life got intense and everything, and I was still writing articles from like spring 2017, not in fall. Like I did a couple in fall, but then I left for the semester, and then I did spring 2018 and fall 2018. So I have 3 semesters worth. I do have in my other planner, my old one from last year, I have a list of all the articles that I wrote, which is great, so that I have pretty much almost all of them up on my blog, so they're there, but I also fell behind on uploading them, so then which is good that I'll be doing this series again, so then I can kind of re-immerse myself and get back into it, but I also want to focus on my recovery now, because since they were a few years ago, I have a different perspective on life and recovery, so I can kind of add my own commentary on it, for my 2020 versus 2017, 2018, that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to try to do. My biggest goal is to not get triggered. So I'm going to go forth and look at my notes and stuff. Planner from last year. So I have the articles here, and then we went 2016, 2017, the paper was bi-weekly, and then in 2018, we went to weekly, so that's all of those. So, little notes here for the video, and a little goal, ow, that hurt, goal for the video, and then a little restabilization regimen. So, I'm gonna just jump right into this, and we're gonna see how it goes. I mildly sprained my ankle the other day, so I am not really hobbling. It's a mild sprain, but I kind of am sitting differently with my legs and stuff. I sit on my legs a lot, so it's kind of been odd to not be able to completely do that. And it's currently the last day of April in 2020, so just a FYI. So I'm gonna read. While I read, I will probably make comments on it. So, sorry. Okay. So this one is called, Winter Woes, and I wrote it in, the beginning to middle of January 2017. So it just has my, I don't have a picture for it, and it just has my name, and everything, so, okay. Let's do this. I think it is accurate for me to describe about a year ago this semester, i.e. spring 2016, as the written perspective of where I have been in recovery. Then, in the fall 2016 semester, I wrote articles from the perspective of where I am. And now, for spring 2017, I will be writing articles in the perspective of where I am going. I also haven't read any of these articles back in like the time that I wrote them and published them and everything, so I have very little idea of what I remember writing. But it some of them, like, I kind of do. Like, I think 2018 I can remember more of them, but I don't really remember this one and stuff. But I don't think it should be triggering, so hopefully it's not. It'll be kind of nice, I think, to, like, remember, like, read them over again too, because there's some that I really want to read. Like, I'm like, oh, I really want to read this one because it's really good, or at least I remember it being really good. But it feels as though not much happened over my winter break, yet some things are definitely changing. I would like to explore these changes in this article now. First, finals really kicked my behind. The sudden change from social interaction to what felt like sudden isolation was enough to ruffle my feathers. I certainly put in the majority of my work during that finals week than I had throughout the entire semester, which means I need some serious, newly enhanced expectations for this coming semester. I think 2016, it was in the fall that I got hospitalized again. I went 9 months without one, and then it kind of happened again and stuff. So it was a tough kind of semester. I think I did alright in my classes and stuff. But even I had my breaking point. Somewhere within the dark 4 days of working on finals, procrastinating on finals, and then avoiding finals — avoidance is definitely a behavior that I have a lot of — the feeling of depression came knocking on my doorstep. Once the enemy returned, life just got weird. I remember, I think it was back in 2016 that I did that, like, song-related 11 Blocks by Rabel, and I did, like, a cover kind of thing to it. I really liked that article. That was a good one. That was nice. So I think it was, like, from there. I began. Okay. Okay, we're gonna get into this. Okay. So I began 2 weeks of extensive suicidal planning. I had obsessions and compulsions all over the place, and read many forums about my method of choice. I scratched myself in order to avoid a compression form of self-harm and engaged in a few other self-harm tactics. Yeah, there was a type of self-harm that I was doing in 2016, like in the summer, and, like, still struggled with it for a while. I don't do it anymore, although I still have, like, dreams about it, which is, like, so romantic, really. And the scratching, I haven't done that in, like, 2 years, I think. Even more. 4 months. Well, yeah. Maybe 2 and 6 months. Maybe 2.5. Yeah. In between this happening, I made a YouTube channel. I made videos out of my articles, like this one. Ink on Skin videos, which is something, as of the time that I'm recording this, is something I uploaded. And a few vlogs, which I have tons more. So I was actually thinking about it today. I want to edit them. I like the iOS videos as they are creative and have some awesome background music. I use my webcam to film for now, which I am justifying as the best thing to use since it does its job, and my camera is too backed up with photos for me to go through and delete them, i.e. it requires more than one step, and that's enough for me to avoid doing it. I came to find that I enjoy the basic level of editing that I do, and brainstorming how to create a video out of the words that I've written. In reading out my articles for my YouTube channel, I got a better, more comprehensive understanding of what I've been writing about for nearly a year. One of those revelations is that I am awfully repetitive, very true, and yet it was with that repetition that inevitably helped me out in the end. Instead of following through with my plan for suicide, my parents found out about what I was planning from a blog post I had written and confronted me about it. Yep, sounds legit. The idea of the hospital came up again, and when I went to see my psychiatrist the following day in January 2017, it was decided upon that because I was already harming myself outside of the hospital, that I needed to go back on the inside. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this. I totally forgot about this. I have a video that I did of... So, okay. Thus, my 6th hospitalization was born. And I made a video of, like, what I, like, did. Like, stuff that I got from the hospital. That's weird. I completely forgot about that. I think this is around the time, I think I went for a job interview in like December, and then I wound up getting the job, and then I had to quit. I only lasted like a couple weeks, and then I had to quit, and that was right around March 2017. So, interesting, very interesting. The first couple of days I was on the unit, I was not behaving with the idea of recovery in mind. In fact, I came onto the unit prepared with methods. Oh, shit. I remember this. Me. Oh, I remember this. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Okay, I remember this. Hold on. The first couple of days I was on the unit, I was not behaving with the idea of recovery in mind. In fact, I came onto the unit, prepared with methods to hurt myself, and in retrospect, that was not the nicest of actions. I put stuff in my socks. Because I was supposed to go, I went to my psychiatry appointment, and my dad, brought me there. And then I told him about it, and he was like, you need to go to the hospital. So I was like, okay. And then, instead of going to the ER, which is what you're supposed to do, because you have to go to the ER, and they have to kind of, medically assess you, and, stuff like that, and then you go into, the psych unit from there, my dad, brought me to the psych unit, and then, they were like, we don't usually do that, but okay. And I had brought stuff that I was going to use in the ER, because I was thinking I was going to be in the ER, but I wasn't, so I had to be like, hey, I have shit in my socks that you should probably take. I remember that. It was weird, yeah. Okay. I did advocate for myself and asked for a one-to-one, which I received for a half day. A one-to-one is essentially when one of the mental health specialists follows you around and keeps an eye on you. After that, I graduated to marking. I refer to this quite often, actually. After that, I graduated to marking off my own 15-minute checks on a sheet of paper by the nursing station. I was meant to do reverse checks with the staff, which meant I initiated check-ins, which I mainly did when I was not either napping or reading. Just remember that. I remember the one at the nurse's station. I would have to go up and be like, yeah, I did it, or whatever, and then that reverse check-in stuff, which was really cool. That's the biggest thing that I remember from. I forgot about it, that it was that hospitalization, but I totally have referenced it in NAMI presentations and stuff, even today. So it was really cool. The good thing about this breakdown of check-ins is that I was not relying on other people in order for me to feel safe. Rather, I was learning to trust again that I could keep myself safe. Alongside this theme was the question posed to me of where the mental health conditions were stemming from me. The answer to that, as of yet, I am not quite sure. In part, I think it stems from a fear of death, and then suicide became a way of controlling the uncontrollable. Beyond this, someone I spoke to told me to think of my mental health conditions as a time that has come to pass. I remember this. Okay. That the conditions have served their purpose, and now it is time for me to move forwards and let go of them. There was also the mentioning that I am labeling myself as well, which will not be easy things to let go of. Yet with time, I think I'll find my way. So that is that article. The reason I was like, oh, that one is because I believe that's before this hospitalization, I had heard from Alexa that song The Line by the Deer Hunter, and I really fell in love with it. And then during this hospitalization, I did a watercolor drawing, which I wanted to do in 3 parts for. But I did that one with have a fear of letting go. It's the end of the line for you and I, and it was that. I can probably pull it up. I don't think that'll be triggering. But that's so fascinating. But yeah, I did that watercolor thing. I remember I had my iPod. I couldn't have I think I had the headphones on when I was starting the drawing in the main community room, and then I went to I was in the quiet room and I listened to it with just my regular old iPod, the iPod Nano, this one, without the headphones and stuff, and I was the song came on, and I was really inspired by it, and I was oh my god, it's so fitting, and then then I wound up working on that watercolor piece for it. And then I remember I was showing staff like some of my drawings and everything. They're like, they're so colorful, like that would be so cool to like share with other people, like on units and stuff like that. And then that's how recovery restoration came to become a project of mine. I'm gonna pull up the drawing. I have it somewhere. So yeah, this is my second sketchbook. It just looks like that. I remember that. Like, oh, that's so awesome. That is like so cool. Okay, hold on. Yes, have a hard time letting go. It's the end of the line for you and I. I love this piece so much. So the significance of it, conditions or just adversity of any kind, and the person is kind of like sitting there and he's like upset and everything, and then he moves down a little bit further and he has like a fake mask, like the happiness, like pretending to be okay when he's not, and he's still like, you know, having this thing around him. He starts moving to get the thing off, the sort of like choker thing, and the thing is getting bigger too. He finally gets it off, it breaks off and everything, and then he has dropped his mask along the way. The thing's still big, and by the time he gets to the end of the line, he still has the balloon, because he still has those mental health conditions or that adversity, but it's kind of like falling down further, and the light is overpowering it. So the sense of recovery and getting better is more present, and that the mask flew off up here. So, and then I have the other, like, has the lyric, and now we see to set us free, and it just has birds and a tree and like grass and stuff and an eyeball, all that kind of jazz. And then I have one more, which, yes, I know. Oh, I love this one. The lyrics: was lost in limbo long enough for two, but my identity was wasted on you. Yeah, it's like a waste bin and stuff, and biohazard thing. I love this one so much. So yeah, those are the three kind of like two spin-off ones, and then the one that I did with that song. So yeah, so that was that video. Cool to like kind of see where some of my stuff came into play, like just how things evolved and changed, and just things that I reference even today in my recovery, my story and everything, like how they were there. Like I do remember that, I vaguely remember that video that I made about like what I got for my 6th hospitalization. I got recovery bear from it. I used that as like the thumbnail. I got a whole bunch of stuff, yeah, so that was actually really interesting, and I hope that you also found it interesting. Yeah, I added my comments and stuff, and I showed you some art, and I did that, and my recovery projects, I have 4 of them, but I haven't really worked on them in a while, so this might be good inspiration for me to write in them again in the future. So, yeah, fascinating. Okay, I'm gonna go, and then I'm gonna make another video, and then, yeah, it's like, what, 5, almost 5:30, so I'm gonna go do that. Okay. Tagline, my outro, because I forgot it in the last video that I uploaded. I was like, no, that's what I forgot. Stay safe, take care, be well, much love and light to you, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to write comments down below. I would love to interact with you guys, and it gets pretty lonely when you don't, so please do. And let me know if there are like songs you'd like me to feature in like a video if I can.
Have a hard time letting go. It's the end of the line.